how is that recovery effort coming along? Have you gotten the money from Daddy yet? I heard he said no. Oh, here is the good old state of Arkansas.
Then join. Okay, and more people voted for somebody else other than Yam back in November when they had that competition.
Not to the Yam.
They're not the majority, guys.
He got the Yam. Hey everybody, this is Dean FM, Dean Fraser Milford, here for your creature comfort, and today I wanted to do another reaction video to some more hashtag FAF. Cut it off and do the warm-ups. As you know, hashtag FAFO, if you don't know, is F around and find out. And it typically has to do a lot with the election and people regretting this current administration for various different reasons. It is very shocking and it's very pathetic to see how many people are not only regretting, but didn't learn the first time, acting very shocked. You know, they're acting like completely thrown off guard. Apparently, these people weren't alive a year ago. They were born at the booth. Here we go. This one is by the Mouthy Christian, hashtag FYP, hashtag FAFO, hashtag FAFO Empire, hashtag politics TikTok. Please make sure to like and subscribe.
Here is the good old state of Arkansas throwing their hat into the fuck around and find out ring in the form of health insurance rate hikes coming in the following calendar year to the tune of 6% minimum. And the state governor, affectionately known as Sarah Huckabee Sanders, has shown an astounding lack of self-awareness.
Oh, I like the wordplay.
By proclaiming, this is unacceptable. How dare these companies raise health insurance on the people of my state? I'm here to fight for them, and by God, I'm going to do it. When it was really the policies of the GOP, her policies, and DJT's policies that have directly impacted these things. And I'm going to just say this. Sarah, good luck to you in solving a problem that you created.
Sure did.
And how is that recovery effort coming along? Have you gotten the money from Daddy yet? I heard he said no. Oh, here is the good old state of Arkansas throwing their hat into the fuck around.
Oh, that was a video. I like that. Just be letting the highway, don't you? They sure do shake their fingers. This boom ba. Where's that South Park sketch where it's like, you know what I mean? I think a lot of them, especially the ones that are in the positions of power, maybe they should think before they kind of just so brazenly reveal their naivete, complete willful ignorance. Until now, apparently, y'all just not, there's something missing up here that's not allowing them to connect those two situations and kind of, you know, draw the conclusions appropriately as they should be, and they're not. So, by TWay81, hashtag Target, hashtag CEO, hashtag for you, hashtag viral video, hashtag FAFO. Let's go.
I have a message for Brian Cornell, the former CEO of Target, who has just stepped down because of continued decline in sales. Don't bother to apply for government benefits, okay? Medicaid, no. All right? You want SNAP? No, that's socialism, okay? You are against that. So do not apply for government benefits, as that is not within your values.
No.
What this showed me with him stepping down due to continued sales, there really are more of us who care about DEI and multiculturalism and do not support this president or this administration than do. Okay, enough people were able to hold the line to put that big of a dent in Target sales and not go back. I know MAGA is loud and persistent, and they parrot the exact same thing. So it makes us feel like we are surrounded by them.
Yeah.
But more and more people leave their group than join. Okay, and more people voted for somebody else other than Yam Tits back in November when they had that competition.
Not the tits of the Yam.
They're not the majority, guys.
He got the Yam. He got the I don't know. I appreciate people who are telling it like it is. These people, like, just, I don't know why people are actually being so outward about it. It just seems like you would want to keep that to yourself. If I had made a vote to Donald Trump, I don't think I would, first of all, talk about it prior so that I would have to explain myself. But also, I don't think I would want to put my dumb ass on blast, and my dumb supporters and my dumb people around me picked up their stupid legs fast and walked to the to the voting booth. I don't know. But we gotta hold space for something. We're all in this country together, allegedly. This country, in the sense of the word, if it's not declared a straight up war zone by international forces, a lot of us just can't afford to move. I think that there's gonna have to be some sort of dialogue as far as that's concerned. Somebody who's voted for Trump is gonna have to talk to somebody who's voted for Kamala at some point in time. Discourse is discourse and should be happening. If it makes sense for you. Fizzle for shizzle on my nizzle. Hashtag green screen. I literally can't with this today. MAGA doesn't get it. Hashtag research. Hashtag ethics. Hashtag FAFO. Hashtag help. Save all shit. I know that's right.
Do you want to see what happens when MAGA cheers on research being taken away but doesn't understand what research is, especially when they're doing illegal shit because they don't understand what research is, and they have a penis and they think that they know more than anybody in the room, and the people that are experts in the field can tell them that what you're doing is illegal.
It's small
trying
too.
to save them, and
How
they're
are we
saying
that
no.
big with that small?
No,
Sorry.
this is supposed to be a study involving veterans. And
I love that
Barrett.
haircut, by the way. It came out beautiful.
And they're conducting research without realizing they're conducting research, which is what I've tried to explain. You can't do it legally. But because the IRB is involved now, because they submitted this in with one of our doctors, they said their option is they can continue doing their study without an IRB on their human subjects.
Oh.
And they say they can continue treating veterans under the same state statute that they've been doing for the last 5 years. Yes, they can continue treating them with the treatment. They can't do the research portion, though. And they say we are making a difference, saving veterans' lives with the treatment today as part of our current mission, saving lives. Don't disagree with that.
Nope.
We are here at this time to eliminate the veteran suicide epidemic across the country. That's in all caps. To treat and heal the brain, restore veterans' lives and those of their family. This is our mission, and it's not by design. It's not by design to engage in clinical research, although we do have teams across the country who do this, and it will have long-term benefits. Because bringing transparency to America about hyperbaric treatment, transforming medicine, saving TBI lives, including veterans. And there are 28 published clinical trials.
All the good trans.
A study already completed on HBOT treatments for, he calls it MTBI, military TBI, and veterans. Where did they get the stats for the research? From what they're doing. Now, this person demands a discussion today on what we will gain from having veterans in another trial and what it will demonstrate and prove that has not already been medically and scientifically recorded and published. I shared 28 links. Is the benefit more political than medical in demonstrating how both veterans and student athletes have concussions? Then they bring it around to, this is the discussion of topic that he assumes we're going to have this afternoon. We're not. In what the institution's objectives in bringing TBI PTSD veterans into this clinical IRB trials. What do you want to demonstrate at the end? What do you hope to achieve that has not already been published? This needs to be defined by the U of L research team. He literally is engaged in research.
Yeah.
And again, he says that he is open to migrating the IRB study forward if desired by the team, but it's important when coupled with student athletes. These two cannot be coupled together. To be the first of its kind in the entire U.S., it would be impactful for the country. The NCAA, Department of Defense, VA, U.S. Congress, to see, even though he has not consulted any of them about this trial. I'm just sharing a high-level summary of who we are and what we are doing. Perhaps our joint objectives can potentially achieve by working together. Here's the problem. The statute that they are saying does guarantee treatment to veterans with PTSD, to hyperbaric treatment. That gives them access to treatment, standard of care. What they have made through their organizations, that in order for veterans to access this care, it is guaranteed to them by the state of Kentucky with funds given to them by the state to get that. They have made it a condition that they participate in research activities by completing surveys, doing eye exams, doing other things in order to be granted access to this treatment, which is what you cannot do. You cannot make participation in research a mandatory aspect of a treatment?
No. That don't make any
Ethically,
sense.
you can't, and legally, you
Research?
can't.
Why they gotta be a part of that?
On top of that, their consenting process is not a research consent. It does not, let participants say that they have the right to withdraw. It does not say that they agree to they know that their participation and their data is going to be de-identified, that we're going to access that information. None of that. None of the people in this trial are research educated and certified. No city training, no good practice training.
Yeah.
None of those things that protect the human subject.
Nope.
And by funneling all of the veterans in order to access this care through them, and mandating research procedures in order to access this care,
They may not make it through all that.
breaking the law.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
It's not us that are deciding what is doing. They can provide the standard of care. They can't request all of these surveys in order to extract data from it. That is literally research. And this person doesn't understand that whatsoever.
Yeah.
On top of that,
That's good, 'cause they're in it.
they're not listening to the people that
They're
do
part
know.
of them, yeah.
And they did have a female neurosurgeon on board, but they are going to be withdrawing because I was like, "You're in danger, girl." And even she said that she was telling her husband about this and being like, somewhat, this asshole is so many people fool because he knows who, for the most part,
This
he
would
needs
be
to
a
stroke their
conversation
ego,
in
but he's
politics.
decided to be a
This
condescending
asshole
dick
is so-
to both of us,
trying to do.
who may be the people that know the most about this study. And she loves it. I'm more petty than she is. Take that into account. A female neurosurgeon is saying that I'm more petty than they are. And that this gentleman is saying that someone who reviews protocols and a neurosurgeon that's carried out multiple clinical trials know less about what he's doing than he does, when he is literally breaking the law. But then again, he said that he was going to schedule an appointment with RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz to get funding for this, because of course there's no funding. He's making his subjects pay for it. If they don't access the Kentucky fund, if there's none of the funds allocated for these
It's really
veterans,
dangerous because they're having
then
to
the
do
veterans have to pay
all
out of
this
their
through all
pocket
those health
for
issues
all of
and
these research
mental
activities
health
that
as well.
are not necessary for their treatment. So they're making their veterans incur an increased cost, which should never be done in research.
Now you're exploiting them.
And 40 hyperbaric treatments is expensive. No, he hasn't gotten approval from the VA. No, he hasn't talked to the Department of Defense. No, he hasn't deployed the IRB.
Nope.
Yet he thinks it's silly that
Sketchy
I
operations.
can't just get all the names. All they need is all this data they have on 4 or 5 sites for me to put it all in one place, because that's not research. Because all they want to do with it is analyze it and put it in a paper. Because that's not research. That's total standard of care. None of that, these extra eye exams and your previous medical records and 5 questionnaires and an extra MRI and that. Yeah, we just want that so that we can have the data so we can show it works.
Let me know what you think about this below, y'all. I don't have too much to say because I'm not a huge...
It's not research. There would be no benefit, to research. What would be the benefit for another research trial? Yeah, I'm gonna need a drink. On top of it all, he looks like Yosemite Sam.
I like
And
those glasses, by the way.
He
They're
has like
cute.
5 friends, which is expected. And shocking, he has 0 clinical background. Nobody on this whole committee for this has a clinical background.
That's
at
not
all.
shocking to me.
But they sure want to cite those studies. Research is not. I just I can't. But now
We've set a dangerous
the
precedent that
neurosurgeon's
evidence
gonna
can be
back
okay.
out, and I told her I want her to say, "Tell Sissy it was me." Because so far he hasn't listened to anybody with a
criminality
vagina,
enabled
and
him.
he even wrote in his protocol that most of the veterans that they would receive would be men because of the combat training, but they should get some women from the National Guard that drive things like water trucks to be enough to round them out.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, that don't work. That don't work for me.
So we're just, I'm trying to find a talking penis that can sound more
nobody for
authoritative
no
than I
reason for
can.
no
I got
agenda.
my crayons out. I did everything. Trying the same words coming out of a penis mouth is going to be my last ditch effort for comprehension. Wish me luck.
Do you want to see what happened?
And that, my dear, was reacting to hashtag FAFO on TikTok in America. I hope you have a nice day. Please tell me what you think of all of these TikToks down below. And I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.